Hey YouTube, it's Phil here. So this is video one, day one. So I wanted to create a bit of a series of videos just journaling my experiences around semen retention. So this is not my first rodeo. This is not my first time going through a bit of a round of semen retention. I've hopefully got quite a bit of wisdom in this space that I've accrued over the years. I've probably been involved with this sort of thing: semen retention, NoFap, addiction recovery, spiritual development around sex, whatever you want to call it, that sort of thing. Let's not get too caught up on labels. I don't really like getting too hung up on that. But it's that sort of thing that I'm talking about. So this is going to be the first in a whole series of videos that are documenting this part of my semen retention journey. So I've never done anything like this before in terms of making things public. I've done a lot of journaling privately and a lot of work in this space in private or in recovery rooms or whatever. But this is the first time I've ever sort of publicly released anything about this. So it's a little bit daunting, but I've got a bit of a selfish motivation around this. So the first reason I wanted to make this public, I guess, is a bit of self-accountability. So if I am releasing this out into the public, maybe that provides me with a little bit more incentive to stay on the path, so to speak. So there's that motivation. But I guess the other main reason that I wanted to release this publicly is to share with others and to potentially help others who are going through something similar, going through a bit of a similar journey, whether you're just starting to get into this whole SR, NoFap, recovery, spiritual development around sex, whatever you want to call it, or whether you're a bit of a veteran, a seasoned traveler on this road. Hopefully there are other people out there who can benefit from what I'm sharing. I'd like to think I've got a little bit of wisdom in this space over the years. I've probably been working in this space in some capacity for the last 10 to 15 years, and some of that's been pretty full-on work in this space. I'm by no means an expert, but hopefully I can share a little bit of wisdom with you, and hopefully some people will want to share a bit of their wisdom with me because we're all in this together. So I'm here in the office, as I like to call it. It's basically just me at my desk. I just got the laptop here and a lapel mic. It's super basic. I didn't want to do anything fancy. The simpler and easier it is for me to make these videos, the more likely I am to stick with it. So the production video is going to be low, but hopefully what I'm sharing is of value to a lot of you. So this is the first video, and to begin with, my goal is to make a video every day, just creating a bit of a journal of the first stage of this part of my journey in SR. So that's the goal to begin with, and then once I get to that first week, I'll revise goals. I might keep making dailies, I might space them out a little bit more. But my commitment at the moment is to make a video every day for the first 7 days. Like I said, this is not my first rodeo in SR, NoFap, whatever you want to call it. I've done this quite a few times before, but the first day, few days, week can be pretty interesting. There's usually a lot of ups and downs, a lot of emotions coming up, feelings coming up, thoughts coming up. I'll try and keep that documented here for you so you can all kind of see what I'm going through. But it's also for myself, so I have a bit of a log for it for posterity's sake. So for now, that is my goal. First 7 days, a video each day. So I'm going to try and keep the length of each video to about 5 to 10 minutes to start with. I do like to talk, I like to nerd out, I like to ramble a bit, especially about topics like this that I'm really interested in. I can talk for a long time, but I'm going to try and keep it pretty short and brief to begin with. Just that 5 to 10 minute range to get things going. A little bit later, I might post a bit more long form sort of content, going off on various tangents. But for now, we're going to keep it pretty short and sweet. So this is day one. I've got about 24 hours without having any sort of slip or relapse or whatever you want to call it. And I've been getting back into my daily meditation practice and journaling. So I like to start every day with just a 20-minute lying down meditation. I might put on some chill music or whatever, but basically I'm just lying there focusing on my breath, trying to get the vagus nerve stimulated a little bit. So just focusing on my heartbeats, counting heartbeats, making sure my out breaths are a little bit longer than my in breaths, which just, is going to stimulate that vagus nerve and get me to drop more into rest and digest, out of fight and flight, that sort of thing. That also really helps me drop out of my head and into my body, and then I can become a lot more aware of the feelings, emotions, and sensations that are coming up rather than the thoughts, because I'm a pretty sort of cerebral sort of guy, and my thoughts will just always run away with me if I let them. So I find that this sort of meditation really works for me. I've tried a whole bunch of them over the years. I've sort of developed my own little way of doing it. I don't think there's any right or wrong way to meditate, other than to say the wrong way to meditate is really trying to focus on, am I doing this wrong or right? It's just do whatever works for you. This works for me. I found it really effective and a great way to frame my day. So right after I've done my 20-minute lying, breathing, breath, body fullness, I call it, meditation, I just do a quick journal, and it's my gratitude journal. I just write about a page of things. I try and write a whole page of an A4 book. So it's about 30 odd things that, just whatever I'm grateful for in the current moment. And it'll just be whatever comes to mind. It might be this desk, this computer, the air conditioning. It's a bright sunny day. I'm healthy. I just quickly write a list. Even on my bad days, I can still find about a page of things that I'm grateful for. And it doesn't matter if life's going good or bad. If you can drop into that sense of gratitude, that state of gratitude, it immediately gives you that sense of abundance versus scarcity. When you're being grateful, it really forces you into that abundance kind of state or mindset. And that for me goes hand in hand with that spiritual development and trying, it's basically like fear versus love. Do you want to be coming from that state of scarcity, fear, or do you want to drop more into that, hey, everything's okay, love, abundance, it's that sort of thing. So I'm trying to just always tip the scales into love and abundance and versus fear and scarcity. And that's all it is. I just really find that gratitude journal is such a simple and quick way to start my day and, really drop into that state of abundance straight away. So I noticed during my meditation there were a few things that came up. So one of them, there was a bit of shame around an interaction I had on social media yesterday. And I'm not big on posting on social media. For whatever reason I did, and I didn't go well. And it wasn't a massive blow up or anything, but I didn't conduct myself the way that I would have liked to conduct myself. And there was a bit of shame around that. I sort of got in a bit of a little skirmish with someone, and it didn't end well, and I wasn't happy about it. And even little things like that can bring up shame for me. I noticed that come up. There's also a lot of sadness because I broke up recently with my partner of about 2 years. So that's another big thing that's been going on, and it's sort of been leading up to that breakup for a while. And so there was a fair bit of sadness coming up around that. So I could really feel that, and I knew that I had to sit with that. I could see myself, because I haven't been meditating as much as I should recently, and my brain was constantly trying to pull me back into my head and out of my body. So I noticed I kept getting jolted out of my body and back into my head. But then I was okay, just sit with that and go, oh, okay, then that's happening. That's fine. It is. My approach to meditation, it is what it is. Whatever happens, happens. And just being okay with that, being able to sit with that, just noticing the thoughts, noticing the feelings, and it's just whatever happens, it happens. And that's what's going on right now, and just being present with that. And I find being present and then going, later I mentioned the gratitude journal, going into that abundance mindset, presence and abundance. Working on those two things is really, really, in my experience, complementary to SR, and really goes hand in hand with that. And I find that if I'm just trying to do SR from this abstinence, white knuckling kind of just don't relapse, don't do this, don't do that, and I'm really just focusing on what not to do, that always messes me up. And I know that if I'm focusing on these other things, together with doing the SR stuff, if I'm doing my meditation, if I'm doing my journaling, if I'm practicing these abundance sort of presence mindsets, this is when I get the most value out of semen retention. And if I'm not doing those things, I usually I don't get the value and I fall off pretty quickly, and I know that I got to be doing those things. So I guess that's what came up for me during my meditation. You might be thinking, oh, this dude doesn't seem to be struggling at all. Like, where's the frenetic energy? Like, where he doesn't seem to be having trouble. And I guess I'm a little bit different to some people. When I start going through, especially the first part of semen retention, I find the first few weeks actually, I go into a bit of what's called a flat line. That's the usual pattern, not always, but I actually find it quite easy to put things down, so to speak, and not relapse, especially in the first week. It's almost like my sexuality just goes away. And that sort of makes it easy to get through the first week, the first month, a lot easier than most people. But then it kind of plays a bit of a trap on you. And I'll get into flat lines, I think, in another video. I don't want this video to be too long, but just in case you're like, why is this guy, he doesn't seem to be struggling at all. It's like, I'm probably starting what's called a flat line. Too early to say, but I know my pattern. I think I'm in a flat line. Been here before. Flat lines have their own sort of, things to watch out for, because you can get into a bit of a trap. I just don't want this video to be too long, but just in case you're wondering, like, why is this dude so chill and flat? You probably notice, and I can see it in myself, I'm coming across a bit flat, and I am, and I feel a bit flat, and I'm probably in that flat line. It's day one. It's a little bit too early to say, but I'm just going to acknowledge that, and I can see that that's already going to become a thing. But like I said, this is just a journal. We're going to see where it goes. I'm going to do a video a day for the first 7 days, and then we'll see where we're at from there. So that's the first video. Like I said, I didn't want to make it too long. If you're out there watching this, I really, really appreciate you tuning in, helping me be accountable. I'm definitely going to stick with this. You're going to see definitely another 6 videos, 1 each day for the first week. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here with me. I hope you got something out of it. I know I got something out of it just posting this, doing a bit of a brain dump, letting the universe know what's going on. So if you're on this journey, or you're thinking about getting in this journey, go for it, get into it. You won't regret it. Check out Semen Retention. There's plenty of cool resources out there for you. Ask me, Google it, jump on AI, find out more about it. But more than that, just try it for yourself. Don't let anybody else's instructions or experience dictate how you go about it. This really is a personal journey. Just try it, and just try abstaining for a period and seeing what happens. If you've never done it before, I can't overstate how important it is that it's really experiential. You've really got to try it and just see what happens. Don't take my word for it. Don't take the, Reddit, the subreddits, whatever, anybody else's experience. Just try semen retention, see what happens for you. And really, don't just try it for a week. Like, try the 90 days. If you can get to 90 days, that's the journey to 90 days and beyond is a game changer. And you probably won't do it on the first go. It's not easy, but if you can get that, and it'll probably take you a few attempts, if you can get to that 90 days, I promise you, I know this is true for me, that you will learn so much about yourself, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. It'll just make you a better person. You'll have that experience. You can really talk to people about your experience having done that. And it'll be, if you haven't done it before, I think you'll probably find it's going to be the start of a spiritual journey for you. And I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about your own personal spiritual growth. And it's a very personal thing. It's not about anybody else's definition of religion or whatever. It's your own spiritual growth. And I reckon if you try this semen retention thing, you'll be really, really pleasantly surprised if you just stick with it and give it a go. So that's going to be all for today's video. I don't want to make it too long, so signing off for today, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Day 2, stay tuned. I'll see you there.